G'day everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Australia's Thursday night monthly meetup. So we've got an exciting lineup tonight. Oliver's going to be joining us from down in Victoria to talk about nodes, Bitcoin nodes, Lightning Network nodes tonight. Good to see got some new faces in and about town tonight. We've got the Deep Nation, a bunch of people from there. Rob, I think we had you join earlier. Some people jump into our Zoom a bit earlier and we get a little flash recording. So maybe that happened today. So yeah, we're coming live from Digital Playhouse in Agnes Water. We branded ourselves as Australia's first digital currency town back in 2018 when we got about 35 merchants around town to install the Travel by Bit app, which is linked to the living room of Satoshi, and you can still spend your Satoshis around town today. So using the Lightning wallet, most of us use the wallet of Satoshi. So we're here. I've got just Kieran. I have Kieran here in joining us, and I'll put it on wide Zoom. We've got a centre here in Agnes Water for digital innovation and focused on Bitcoin education and Web3. We hold Bitcoin meetups every week, Wednesdays and Thursdays, pretty much. So Bitcoin 101s. It was quite interesting this week. I was looking in Melbourne, one of the biggest meetup groups in Melbourne are still doing, the blockchain center are still doing Bitcoin 101s every week, still doing them today. So it's pretty cool to see that people, you know, a lot of adoptions to going out there. So, and then we had advanced crypto sessions on Thursday nights. So they're on Zoom as well. Anyone can jump into those at any time. But tonight, let's get things underway. We've got Oliver White joining us from Melbourne. So we'll let Oliver introduce himself and I'll put our camera onto White's screen. Oliver, you should be able to speak up, and if you need to share screen, everyone. Just let me know.
Yeah, if I could share, I guess, yeah, just this gaining Bitcoin independence slide that Kieran passed on to me.
Can everyone hear Oliver okay?
Yep. Come through? Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name's Oliver White. I'm sorry, but my webcam's not playing very friendly today. But you can also find me by the pseudonym or Teeks. But I'm pretty much just been playing around with Bitcoin nodes and Lightning and the whole, I guess, connecting decentralization aspect of Bitcoin and actually getting under the hood a bit. And I've pretty much discovered that Bitcoin nodes are the best way to pretty much appreciate and understand and really kind of know what's happening, I guess, like I said, under the hood, but to really gain, I think, a deeper understanding and respect for what we're actually tinkering with and what we're actually trying to sell to the masses or even try to convince ourselves so we can sleep easily at night, I guess. But I've got some stuff here. Let me just share my screen. So I just went with a few questions or general questions and kind of started off with basically the main stuff, which is what's a node? What are the benefits? What's a good one? Are they all the same? Kind of what power do they use? Are they up there with like mining or ASICs? Where can I get one? And any other questions, pretty much I'm happy to field. So what we got at the moment is basically what's a node? Let me get this kicking off. Did that come through for everyone?
Yeah, I've got that. Has everyone got that on shared screen?
Yeah, I can see what a node. What's a node?
Perfect. Everything's working well.
Okay. So what is a node? I kind of went a bit technical and really got into the nitty-gritty of it in terms of the evolution of the web and this kind of like paradigm shift that we're kind of seeing now, where we kind of have this big data center kind of thing that we have Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, kind of the big tech guys in Silicon Valley are pretty much controlling a lot of our lives, and it's become apparent that's the case. And so as a global initiative, it seems that the people are just kind of revolted, and we've kind of gone for this initiative instead of this, which is currently kind of known as the Web 2 behemoth. And this thing here is kind of on the right is a transition into the Web 3 kind of ecosystem, I guess. And what we have here is pretty much the change from what's happening is basically, it seems like a major shift is occurring where what was once kind of like the 1.0 web was originally very, what I remember of it anyways, was you had to do a lot of stuff yourself. You had to set up servers yourself. You had to kind of get your mates involved. But if you really wanted to get somewhere, you had to have a peer and a server or things just going back and forth. And that really changed with the advent of Web 2.0 when Google kind of stepped into the picture. As you can see, Wikipedia, the whole platform economy, I guess it's called, where it moved from Yahoo, Netscape Navigator, Internet Explorer, where you're just reading from basic websites very simply. And it was just a one-click process where you're just pulling information one way. And that changed with a platform economy where you see Facebook, YouTube, Google, WordPress, which kind of centralized this whole ecosystem, I guess, of computing and internet relationships that kind of were occurring between just computers and mankind in general. And it basically, we wanted to start putting out our own stuff, which was community focus, blogs and wikis, all this stuff. And it was great for a period of time until we realized that it was all being logged and it was all being kept to be used against us in some ways. So we kind of thought, well, all right, we've got to evolve past this. And we kind of are now in the token economy, which is Web 3.0. We're reading, writing, and executing scripts, or basically, but here I got it, with dynamic applications, interactive services, and machine-to-machine interaction. This represents the executable phase of the World Wide Web, which, oops, sorry. Sorry, guys. Pretty laggy. All right, there we go. Right, currently we're in probably around Web 2.5, 2.7 or so, and we're pretty much joining up with Web 3. But yeah, I think all this stuff has pretty much been kind of crazily been written down in some way in the past already. So we're kind of like following what feels like, manifesto, I guess, of the geeks, it seems like, because there's a lot of stuff out there when it comes to actual papers and theoretical groundwork that has been laid for all this stuff to occur. And it's kind of amazing when you really get into it a bit. But as we can see here, sorry. So what is a node? Basically, it's right now kind of like self-hosting packages, but it all depends on pretty much which node package you're going with in most cases. If you're really smart and really confident, you'll probably end up creating your own package or installing it on the side on some other computer you got in the house. But if you're kind of like me, you're probably just getting interested in that type of thing. So you're thinking, okay, how do I do this on a budget? And how do I do this with getting the most bang for my buck? And how do I actually get a service that, or something that works? And the packages that come back to me or that come back to the user in the end is pretty much, we got here Citadel, Umbrel, what's called Start9's Embassy Labs, I think, Start9's Embassy, and there's MyNode BTC and Raspberry Blitz. And they are really amazing products these days. As you can see by like, these are the outward appearance of all the nodes that are kind of like rocking around the world. This is just a small example of them, but they are getting extremely, they're getting smaller and smaller. And then all that's needed to operate them is just such a minuscule amount of electricity that it's really kind of changed. Paradigm shift is, yeah, it's kind of in occurrence right now. So it's really exciting stuff to be involved with. And the main thing really is that each node pretty much runs a management suite of software, which seems to be inherent or pretty much is there with every single pretty much node package, as that seems to be the stuff which obviously everyone wants. But with Citadel, their emphasis is mainly on free and open, or freedom and open source software. So everything in their packages, actually everything with all these packages is all community built. It's pretty much all open source software. The code has pretty much been audited by the toughest audience out there, which is pretty much anyone that's into money or computers. So that's a pretty big geek population, I think, who can cover the whole keyboard warrior, cyber, kind of like protect my cyber nest type of thing that occurs nowadays when it comes to just pledging allegiance to projects and such. We kind of get that with Bitcoin, with the software that especially goes into maintaining them, especially Bitcoin Core, obviously, which you'll find on every single node, basically. And sorry, saying that a lot now, but Bitcoin nodes are pretty much interoperable with Lightning nodes. And I think I was talking to Gordon as well. He brought up, I think Stacks as well are doing something that is interoperable with Bitcoin nodes pretty soon, or if not already. And that's going to be kind of cool, I think, as it seems to be a lot of things are building on the base layers of Bitcoin and Lightning, where things like, of course, Bitcoin Pay Server or BTC Pay Server, WordPress, as in the case, as all these nodes are actually becoming self-hosting solutions now. And that's kind of a really, really cool thing, as it's not just Bitcoin and Lightning or those two really, it's all about this stuff as well, which is kind of what we need to get along in life and to cut off the ties and reliability to Google, Amazon, yeah, stuff like that. Because you got things like, where is it? WordPress, you can just host it yourself on your own Citadel. And eventually, I think if you wanted to install a bunch of this stuff, it's going to, yeah, not run too great on your Raspberry Pi. But if you actually know what's software packages you kind of want to aim for, then you can get a really, really decent, kind of like a free experience, I guess, and a free first-class ticket to kind of looking under the hood, as it were, of everything that's happening with not just Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning, but with, like, here we got Nextcloud. Now these guys are really, really cool because they're kind of producing what's called your personal cloud, but it's kind of like your calendar, photos, things that we take for granted, I think, in terms of just with things like iCloud, which are just so simple and kind of just integrated into the phone as we get them. That kind of stuff now is just, yeah, just given to us basically. And I think most people don't know about it. I didn't know about it at all until I kind of like really, really looked at under the hood and thought, oh, okay, so with my Bitcoin node, I'm getting, well, the ability to communicate with people over the Lightning network with, like, say, Sphinx Relay, where I can chat and pay over the Lightning network, running things like a Synapse, which is a Matrix home server, which is a really amazing chat federated network, I guess it's called. And that stuff is quite cool. It's kind of like a decentralized chat network. And then that's really, really cool stuff. There's the Home Assistant stuff, which is pretty amazing as well. That's Google Home Assistant stuff. And I had a friend who actually got another Raspberry Pi, I think, on top of his node and stuff. And this is just running independent of that. And he lives in South Melbourne, I think. And the amount of crap that goes on his front doorstep that he had no idea. And I think even the police don't have no idea, because it was just picking up cars, license plates. It was just, everything was just there. It was unbelievable, really. It would find anyone's face who like walked within a certain proximity of the camera. It would bank that face. It would know in the future if that face was coming by at 2 a.m. in the morning, and whether it should call the police automatically for you or not. It was insane. It was kind of like, wow, this is 22nd century. This isn't 21st century. And it really kind of made you think, or double think really, about where we're heading as a society as well, I think, when this is a really, really amazing way to kind of get a kind of, yeah, peek look at it. So this was basically Citadel, but another node that goes by the same package basically is called Umbrel, or short for Umbrella, I think. It's this one here. And that basically is the exact same thing as Citadel, except Citadel, I think, claims to be more FOSS, which is free and open source software. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I figure they're taking even more steps to guarantee the sovereign individuality of all of us. So this is Umbrel, which is quite in depth, just like Citadel. And it kind of has the same front end, I guess you could call it, which is just what we're seeing with our eyes and what we're clicking on. And after that, we start to get into more Bitcoin, I guess, orientated or Bitcoin centric software or packages. And you'll find that the Bitcoin core is at the base of the core of every single node package. And pretty much all the good ones have all got Lightning attached to it. You've also got pay servers, wallet servers, which is really, really important. And I'll get to that in a moment. There's the mempool stuff, which is pretty much the unconfirmed transactions of the Bitcoin blockchain. And it sounds really geeky, and it kind of is, but you can really, you can look under the hood basically there and see actual transactions coming in live time and see how much they're worth, whether they've been confirmed by the network yet, and all the blocks actually as they're being kind of processed by all the nodes in the world. You can kind of see that in real time as it happens. And that's kind of jaw breaking, as you really realize that having a node actually taps you into, it's kind of like a passport into the Bitcoin network as well. And even with Lightning, you've realized with some websites, they'll require you to sign messages and such using your Lightning node, which I think you could only do with a Bitcoin Lightning node. So it literally is a passport in some ways. You got a lot of wallet backends, a lot of things for what's called a whirlpooling, or basically creating anonymity or creating more anonymity in Bitcoin transactions or Bitcoin in your Bitcoin statements, I guess. That goes hand in hand with Whirlpool and Dojo, actually. There's a Bitcoin Explorer. So I don't know if you guys have looked at sites like blockchain.com, or if you've ever made a Bitcoin transaction, you'll get your transaction ID and such. Instead of consulting, let's say, a third website online, or a third party, as it were. So here's what are the benefits basically of a node. Without a node, this is us. And we pretty much have to go through a third party cloud server in order to reach our information or our data. And when we actually have our own server as the middleman or as the third party, it doesn't become it. We reduce the need to rely on intermediaries all the time, and it actually probably saves on a lot of money, time, headaches, and restless nights, I think. Because as you have it here, with your Bitcoin wallet, which is a slew of different wallets, as we've got Electrum, Cold Card, Blue Wallet. These are all essentially, I guess, front ends. They're kind of like the websites of what you would see, but they're not really what's cooking under the hood. And what's cooking under the hood is the Bitcoin blockchain, essentially. And you can only access that chain by kind of having the node management software. And by having that kind of that direct link that you're creating to your own node, your wallet's basically getting the most up-to-date and the most actual real information that all the other nodes are sharing regarding your transactions, your balance, where it's being sent, how much you've actually got. All that stuff it can be easily hijacked, sadly, by some real asses out there. And as you can tell, because this is it's pretty much global money in the end. And if it's aiming to become the global reserve currency, then it's proving its worth by showing how transparent it really is and how it's actually getting the job done. All right. What's a good one, or are they all the same? So here was Citadel, which I went for earlier. They are all, they're not the same, but they all contain Bitcoin Core, which you can see here. And sorry, they all contain Bitcoin Core, which is basically this Bitcoin node, the Lightning node, or the layer 2 Lightning for the Bitcoin stuff. And they all contain just a multitude of software, really, that is, if it's good, it's pretty much going to be in the package. And it's kind of a guarantee that it's going to be there in most cases, because you'll see a lot of this stuff overlaps between all the different softwares. Although as soon as you get more and more serious, they really do cut out all the extra stuff, as that tends to become, I guess, another form of attack, or an attack vector, I guess you could call it. Sorry, that one previously was the Raspberry Blitz. And even then, just to cut down on resources, they even have a command line option, which is, just purely a DOS terminal based alternative, but it's still in a nice friendly menu. Actually, it's kind of nice. And there's another one, the Start 9 Embassy. These guys seem to be kind of doing things their own way, as half the packages seem to be really kind of like something you would find on Ubuntu or your own kind of like Linux server or Windows server. You'd kind of find that stuff, but you wouldn't find necessarily the Bitcoin Core or Thunder or that kind of stuff on your personal computer. But you will find things like a file browser, perhaps a photo view. This is just, I think this is a photo. I'm sure it's a photo hosting program or application, but all the stuff is it's all free and open source software, which is, I think, the main thing. How much power do they consume? Overall, 6.4 watts, and that's when it tops out. Whereas an ASIC for actual mining of Bitcoin will consume upwards of 3,500 watts in an hour. Whereas, this thing is, this is 6.4 when it's actually under extreme heavy load as well. Otherwise, it seems to handle things quite well. So where can you actually get one? Pre-built, there are a few places, but sadly, there's a Ronin Dojo. I believe they do the Tanto. There's the MyNode one, which is the blokes who do the MyNode BTC software package. And the downside, however, is with MyNode, you'll be paying around $99 for a year's subscription. And that's not for the software, that's just for support and to unlock, I guess, what they call the premium software. But that software can just as easily be found on, say, Citadel or Umbrel for, the cost of $0. But the support, however, on Umbrel and Citadel is a bit more lacking, or not quite as technically, I'd say, advanced or versed as, say, pure Bitcoin enthusiasts can be, such as the MyNode blokes, or even I'm not sure if it's pronounced Noodle or the Noddle. But these guys, yeah, because it looks like they're holding a noodle with a chopstick, so I wasn't quite sure. But these guys are pretty amazing as well. I think they do the one, no, not the one, the I believe it's a dojo. I don't know. They do two different packages. They're very worthwhile checking out as well. But sadly, with the pre-built nodes, the downside is that in most cases they come with the blockchain pre-downloaded in some cases, and it's not that. That's kind of just a security issue, I guess, in terms of the whole trust don't verify motto of Bitcoin is pretty much for us to be able to, sorry, verify don't trust. But the whole concept is we kind of like want to basically verify our transactions and verify things that have occurred on the blockchain independently, I guess. So it doesn't actually occur with any overlap or any previous reliance on old authorities, I guess, as it were. But pre-built or DIY, I think if you want to save a couple $100, and you also want the peace of mind that you get from kind of, I guess, creating a project like this on your own, yeah, I think you can't go wrong with creating your own Bitcoin node, which is what I believe I'm going to be with Trace and Michael with Deep Nation and Alexander. I'm going to be doing some talks with them real soon, and I'll pretty much be setting everyone up or as best as I can on pretty much the whole procedure of pretty much acquiring all the parts, and then construction, installation, and then I guess management. And yeah, I'd love to pass you on to those two, well, those three actually, for some more information on that. I think that's about it, really. Sorry, that feels like I'm really rambling for quite a while now. All good, Gordon?
Yeah, man, I think there's silence in the room. I don't know about a ramble. That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
That was fantastic. Hey, just looking at a couple of things there. We had on there. Yeah, so we had another question there, just about, are they virtual nodes? Are they virtual nodes?
Yeah, there actually are, but it's the trade-off once again is kind of like going with a pre-built node is you got to be able to really trust them if they're looking after your money and looking after the security of potentially, I think, everyone that is entrusted you as well with their money or with what's more important, I guess, is your own personal information in the end, and your address, phone number, that kind of stuff, which is, yeah, in the end, it becomes paramount. And in an increasing age of digital surveillance, especially, we kind of, I think as humans and as people, we kind of need to really be able to grasp this stuff and know, hey, we've actually got a handle on things. I think it's kind of reassuring in a way.
So
when you get a node, are you able to see check that it's clean? Yeah, when you buy nodes, just out of curiosity. Like,
oh, you mean a pre-built one, I guess.
Yeah, are you able to check that there's no sort of, I don't know, malware or
yeah, you can pretty much sign or verify the integrity of the software, or what's called the signature, I guess. And you pretty much, by using what's called, I think it's called a checksum and such, but it's just double checks basically what you're being given is the right thing by the owner or the creator of that file, I guess. But so there's a level of trust that once again has to go into play. But with all the community and open source stuff, that's usually extremely trustworthy.
So you were saying that these pre-built ones like Ronin Dojo, My Node One, and Noddle, they're hosted by someone else.
Oh, they're not hosted, but everything is done, I guess. How do I say this?
Is there a cloud in the back end of those ones?
Oh, no, there are cloud servers that say for Nodal. I know they offer some stuff actually. But what you're getting with the cloud service essentially is, I guess, the ease of mind that the electricity isn't going to turn off on the server. and that it's also maintained really, really well because it's in a place like this. It's not on your back shelf or in your computer or in your living room or in your computer in your study. It's literally, it's a cloud server. So once again, you're handing over the keys to the big boys like this. And it's kind of like what we're trying to get away from, I guess, in the end. So it kind of defeats the purpose in some ways, but in other ways, yeah, if you trust, yes, let's say if my mates actually created, say, the Ronin Dojo or these other products, I'd most likely probably go with one of them in some ways, just to be sure it worked the first time. And I've actually done that with a few other brands. I've actually, I think I own, I try to remember, I think it's a Samurai Dojo. I have, and a Casa. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that before. But there's,
Yeah.
but I don't believe they, well, okay.
Sorry, do Casa have a node as well as a multi-sig key, do they?
Yeah, I think they used to, those supposedly no longer in production, but I remember the first time I got into these guys, Kieran was like, yep, this is the way to go if you want to protect your Bitcoin. And at the same time, having that multi-sig functionality was kind of amazing at the time. But you can get that, yeah, kind of a lot easier now, I think, for the home user.
Hmm.
So what sort of technical skills are, like, I guess you talked about ones there that have just got the like their what do you call it, like the DOS server and the different levels. So what sort of programming skills would you need?
Not
Or,
much actually.
like, I
You
guess for most of us, we just jump on a computer, we use Windows, it's all easy. Some people would have the skills to do Linux. So would we have to have Linux skills or have some?
not at all.
Yeah.
I really quite any experience with Linux, but this stuff was quite simple. It was just any computer, just burn an image onto an SD card or the micro SD card, chuck that into the Raspberry Pi, which pretty much fits in the palm of your hand, and turn it on, have it plugged into a display, and it should spit out the IP address. And if you just throw that into a web browser, anywhere on the network that's locally connected to the same subnet or whatever as your node, and off it goes. It just does everything remotely through a web browser. Nice interface like this. It's really doesn't really scare you off as much as it should, which is really nice, because if you screw up, you just make sure you've got the original backup or the seed phrase for if you've put any coin on it. Otherwise, just reset it, format it, do it again, and just keep doing it until you get it right, really. But it's no, you're not going to beat your head against the wall really for too long with this stuff. It's just in terms of making sure that everything runs and all the dependencies are there for the software packages. It just seems to do everything. It's really simple.
And if we're all setting up together at the same time, we'll all have the same dumb questions at the same time and work it out together, won't we?
Yeah, it should be good actually. We could do some pretty cool workshops.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, it's Rob here. How you going?
Hey, Rob.
Yeah. Listen, I'm getting ice cream now, though, but it's the information is that it's an overload, but it's awesome. Look, I'm trying to set up my own node, but it's just sourcing parts. I'm going to use the right Raspberry Pi for hopefully get an 8 gig, but I think 4 gig will probably pull it up. But you just can't get the hardware or firmware anywhere, or hardware, sorry, not firmware. It's just, are you finding that or what?
Yeah, I've been signing up to just the notify me buttons on a lot of websites.
Yeah,
or going with if anything, trying to find like countries or websites that are located definitely in that country that you want to order to.
Yeah, well, I know they come from the UK, or they're made in the UK, and I actually asked the guy, what it would cost to sort of send one over, like £50 just to post it, And I thought,
yeah, it's a bit mental.
Yeah, a bit mental. I'm definitely want to go down that way, set up my own node, because I tried, because I'll be buying off an exchange, which I know is not the ideal situation, but you've got to it is what it is. So I tried going through. I was using Samurai Wallet, and I got caught out there because I put it through Whirlpool, and I put an X amount of dollars in. I got about an eighth of what I put in back. So that really sort of spooked me. Have you found that or what?
Was that, did you whirlpool it or?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be pretty scary actually. That sounds like a liquidity thing, which yeah, I really don't like at all.
Fees, the this fee and that fee. I put $50 in. I bought $50 worth of Bitcoin and ran it through Whirlpool.
Yeah.
All right, and I got I think about $12 back.
Wow.
And I just went, whoa! I won't be doing that again.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can set up my own node and I can purchase Bitcoin through Lightning Network or whatever. So
Yeah, I have to look into this, but I think with what's called join activity market and Whirlpool or Dojo, there are supposed to be times or certain periods of the day that they recommend actually whirlpooling, because it's so globally your I think your coins actually get mixed in with other people's coins at the exact same time.
yeah.
So that way, yes,
so they sort of
that's unfortunate.
oh,
I
look,
can
mate,
totally.
it is what it is. You know, it's a learning curve, and I think we're all learning something every day. So
Yeah, I
That's why
guess
it's
as
sort of-
well. It's still very, very early software as well.
yeah,
Which,
I just want to get off the exchange.
yeah, I can understand that.
And Tiggs, do you have to? Oh no, they're great questions, and everyone, yeah, if you've got your questions, fire them up. Just shoot away. But Tiggs, do you have to? If you wanted to run a Lightning node, do you have to run a Bitcoin node as well?
I believe that's actually changed a bit,
It's
where you
in
can run one independent now. But yeah, I feel actually, I'm actually not quite sure, but it would make sense to be able to run a Lightning node on its own, because the Bitcoin nodes themselves upwards of let me just get my Citadel up. That thing is huge now. It's I'm running a 1 terabyte SSD on every single node that I've got, and I'm using the Samsung T5s and T7s, which are really fast SSDs for an external solution. But yeah, with me and Kieran tried my node BTC originally on just plain hard drives and external hard drives, and it took like upwards of a month just to get the blockchain synced.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was because I had to independently check every single block and make sure that everything was kind of just working good. And if it wasn't, then it would tell the other nodes, hey, we got an issue here. So that whole kind of the community or the self-propagation of information that happens on the nodes is really, really amazing. Go. Sorry. I just logged it in. So we're using currently 590.9 out of about a terabyte. And that's mostly system 590.2 gig. And the rest is, as you can see, there's not much is actually used by these other applications. You see Home Assistant, 5.5 meg. Some of them not even a meg or half a meg. So they're really, really kind of don't do much in terms of taking up space. But I'll have to look into the Lightning node thing, because I know you can get partially downloaded nodes, which is, I think they're called neutrino nodes, but they are only about 10 gigabytes in space, but they're what they're called the pruned versions of the blockchain. And I guess they can't do the things that a full node kind of can do though. And I think when we can operate a full node from the comfort of our own home this easily, I think we got to take that leap.
And what about internet connection? What sort of do you need a good, reliable internet connection, or is that only if you're using and doing transactions when you need the internet, or is it something that's constantly to keep the Bitcoin core updated? Does that mean you've got to be always connected to the internet? I think you spoke before about saying something about if you got disconnected.
Yeah, with Bitcoin, you pretty much do want to have a 24/7 uptime if you can, because you're kind of like, as a node, you're propagating information or kind of like what's available about or what you know about the network to other nodes. And I think that nodes over time, or they might have a kind of a like or hate relationship with you basically, or with your IP address, if it just keeps turning off at really, really opportune times for them and such, which we couldn't tell anyways. But
and do you need to have a static IP?
no, not at all.
No.
It does most of the downloading and everything through Tor, the Onion router, which is pretty much, it's a very, very low-key anonymous way of sending information over the internet. So there's usually, you can have what's called a ClearNet static IP.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like pointing towards the internet. It's a lot more easier for people and services to find. I believe there's bit nodes. On keyboard. Sorry, keyboard is not. There we go. So these are nodes that are reachable, as they call them. And you can see the first country is NA, which is actually the Onion router, I'm guessing, because there's no country that it can be determined to actually come from. And that's 43.59%. And this is bitnodes.io.
Oh, here we go. I can see that. Yeah. So what are we looking at here? Oh, right.
The rank.
Nodes. Right. Okay.
So you've got basically NA or not available. And that's, I think pretty much it's referring to the Onion router or unreachable or reachable nodes that are on the Onion router.
Oh, wow. It's like,
so these are anonymous users. So these aren't actually listed on the map as far as I know. So over 43.59% of the Bitcoin node network, or the validation, or what we call, I guess, validation nodes instead of mining nodes. Yeah, a huge proportion of users are very interested in making sure that it stays anonymous and that your
there might be
identity is
countries that aren't appearing here, like, like Russia, I suppose.
So does that mean they're using the Tor browser for the access to the internet?
I believe so. They put out, I think it's called a remote procedural calls, or RPC stuff that's pretty much occurs on, I guess the RPC stuff. Sorry, Gordon, what was the question again?
Oh, I was just talking about if you're using the Tor network, is that giving you, I'm not that familiar with the technology behind VPNs or privacy using the Tor browser.
Yeah, it's not just a browser now. It seems to be kind of like a IPv4 or kind of like a stack that just seems to come with a lot of these nodes to just preserve the privacy and the, I guess, the decentralized nature of it. Because I think if they were not decentralized, they might be under attack, sadly, unless they were on really, really strong infrastructure with, just in fast ISPs or data centers. But with the addition of the Onion router and the ability to deobfuscate our IP addresses, we can kind of I think, put them in every home now as well, and not worry about the like a DDoS attack or something crazy like that happening in retaliation for using Bitcoin.
So it's just something you can download to your browser and use in Chrome or Brave or Mozilla or something?
Yeah, it's pretty much accessible. It's any website address that ends in .onion is what's known as the Onion router or or like dark web. It's unindexed by Google or search engines. It's
Yeah.
pretty much the unindexed web. So it's just the web that's just not indexed by the public crawlers.
Oh, okay, so it's its own browser. Okay, interesting. Great. And that question that Gordon was asking before about reliable connectivity, that was very interesting how you said, well, you might just not be favorable to other nodes in the network if you are not reliable. Where we're on Starlink up here in central Queensland, and goes really great, except when it drops out for little whiles at a
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's
and
Starlink, actually.
yeah, I
I've
mean,
been very curious about it.
there might be some, yeah, it's gradually making its way up Australia, but I think there's just, it seems to be at 4 p.m. every day. I just drop out.
Wow,
and my
okay.
computer freezes up.
Wonder if it's a
Generally-
satellite, like talking to another
Yeah, it's a
satellite at the
changeover
exact same
time.
time. Yeah.
And I was told there need to be more satellites, but it will be good when there are more satellites. Perhaps that means more people in remote areas can consistently
Yeah, that's amazing.
participate. But I was just
So-
wondering about those dropouts, if they would impair our participation too much.
It really depends whether there were is it like the whole service goes down? Like everything on the line goes down?
My
Or?
experience at home in the last 6 weeks since I've had it has been, or month, has been yeah, just a few minutes at a time sometimes, or sometimes just very briefly, some days worse than others. But I'm told it'll get better when there are more satellites launched.
Yeah, for running a node, I think you'll be fine if it's only a few minutes a day.
I did mean to mention tonight that if we do drop out, we are on Starlink tonight. So,
Oh, eh? Nice.
but I think you guys will still be there when I get back. So. But yeah, anyone got any questions?
Yeah, I'd love to field any questions if there are any.
6 times
Okay.
worth a few satoshis. Have you got your lightning?
No, it's all free.
Your lightning wallet there
Well,
for us, you know. We can...
It's always pro bono.
Karen, did you have any questions? Is anyone else running a lightning node here or a Bitcoin node at home?
Not at the moment, but I'm trying. Like I said before, I'm attempting to, but it's just getting very hard to sort apart, which is getting quite frustrating. But yeah, what do you do?
Let me just try to. I think I saw the 8 gig Pi available last night. Let me see if that link's still going.
Yeah, I did notice on Core Electronics, it said 1 per family.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They are about, it's just, you just got to be patient, I think, and pay. The price gouging at the moment.
If I know, you know, like with the uptake with crypto and Bitcoin, and it's very techy, you know, you've got to be like a programmer or a bloody developer.
Mhm.
Just the average punter, how do you think they're going to, I don't know, make it easier for the average punter to sort of grasp the concept of Bitcoin and, you know, spend it and transfer it and whatever? You know
I
what I mean?
reckon, yeah, make it more peer-to-peer friendly, I guess.
Yeah.
I reckon this is it. Not
Yeah.
like this is the end, but this is, or the final road, but this is definitely one of the pathways into it. With Lightning, you pretty much can turn your Bitcoin into something way more precious because you're starting to deal with the numbers or the denomination of Bitcoin on a real basic level on Satoshi level, which is 1/1000th of a Bitcoin. So you start looking at it really, really differently in terms of, okay, I'm not spending like you were wasting like $45 or $35 just to get your coin like joined up or whatever. That's kind of mental. When I think with Lightning the fees are like really, really small. Yeah, like a couple of sats type of thing. And I think there's a
node going.
yeah, like with running your own Lightning node, you'll be able to basically you deposit a bit of Bitcoin onto the node, and then you basically just churn it into Lightning straight away, and it churns the. I'm not sure if you can see here, but the on-chain balance of Bitcoin turns into your Lightning balance, and then you just open channels and stuff like that, It's a good way to earn sats if you're kind of like inclined that way. But in terms of what you gain and just I guess it's good. Now's a better time than ever with the price of Bitcoin being so low, because if you actually put a little bit of coin into Lightning or Bitcoin on a node and then try to kind of communicate with someone else or one of your mates or someone else in the class or whatever, you kind of want to be able to do that and know that it's not going to cost anything or that you can get your money out. And I've been pretty successful at that stuff, actually, in terms of getting my money back. So I just do that before every single reinstall of a node if I end up installing something that didn't work out, or I end up configuring the wrong way or overloading it somehow. But it's just kind of like, it's just reset, off you go again type of thing. As long as you got the seed phrase, you got nothing really to worry about, I guess.
Right, so you're being your own. So I can't see the screen very well. The icon
Sorry.
screen.
Yeah, can you
full screen?
Can you full
Can
screen?
you click on present? Click on the little present so that we can see the icon. See the
Sorry, I'll just log into the node if I can.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, actually, the Citadel one, I think I've got to power cycle that, but hang on, I'll go full screen.
So the BTC Pay server is like running your own sort of checkout, is it? Your own
pretty much
checkout till.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. All this stuff is there to kind of accommodate the user. So if stuff gets created or even invented, there's a good chance that these guys are going to chuck it in the packages within the next update or two.
Okay.
Let me try to find, sorry. Something here I found that was, yes. It's just BTC Pay, sorry. Wow. If we go to, I'll type it in the chat, actually.
And so, Tiggs, when you transfer Bitcoin and put it into Lightning, so it turns into Satoshis, can you convert that back to Bitcoin if you've got your own node?
You can indeed. It's a very, very simple process, I think. And if you have any trouble with it, you can actually just go to a website, and there are really, really simple things for converting your Lightning into Bitcoin and vice versa.
So you're actually, is it, when we talk about there's a conversion from Bitcoin into Satoshis, so I got a wallet of Satoshi, which is a custodial wallet, but if I put my Bitcoin in there, I can't turn it back into Bitcoin. I turn it into Satoshis. So it just stays as Satoshis in there.
Oh, okay.
It's not the case. I guess that's just the way that the provider's enabling that. But yeah, is there an actual sort of, there's no real actual transformation of the Bitcoin. You're just putting the Bitcoin up into the Lightning network and participating with transfer of Bitcoin in the Lightning network.
Yeah, pretty much, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry. Browser's not playing very friendly.
That's all good.
Oof. Sorry, I'm just looking at
yeah, so I've got a bunch of links there, but you guys have got some things coming up through Divination at a later date. Is that going to be available to just the Divination people, or is that going to be available to anyone that wants to join? Or
Michael or Trace?
Yeah, what's your plans, Michael Trace?
we got you guys there?
Not
Yeah,
sure.
You're on mute, Trace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, could you unmute, Trace?
Oh, there's Michael.
Michael and Trace, we're just talking about what you guys might
Okay,
have.
can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
come through.
here now, it's a bit frozen. I think everyone's internet's a little bit rubbish at this time.
Yeah, sorry, it just crashed and it just came back up again. I was
You're
just
okay.
saying, guys, that anything Dev Nation runs is open to Digital Playhouse and you guys automatically, whatever we do. So 100%. Yes, it's open, and I'm really looking forward to getting this to work and get everyone with nodes going on. I mean, it's so important to be participating in this wonderful network. It's so exciting.
Well, once
Yeah.
we learn how to do it together, then we can sort of propagate that amongst other groups. Now you all learn together. Here's the manual, and yeah, get our own network going. It's practical. I mean, we've all been learning so much theoretically, but now to be actually start getting our hands in, it's such a great opportunity. Thank you for pushing it
Yeah, thank you.
and to showing us what's possible here. I like seeing a tech stack. I'm an accountant who deals with that. And when I see a whole bunch together and I think, oh, that's my kit. I like that. I want to know what each of them are and what they do.
Yeah, no, and actually I'm pretty curious and adventurous about this stuff. And it's just, yeah, it kind of makes my jaw drop almost every time when I think about just how amazing, yeah, kind of like, I guess if not pinnacle human civilization, but it's kind of cool to see actual community come together on a big scale like this and actually put forward stuff that works and really works and works for changing the planet into a better planet, really, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
Wonderful. It's wonderful to see BTC Pay Server there on all of these. You know, that's really awesome, because I mean, running the node for is vital, you know, really important. But for the entrepreneurs that will watch this within, or that are in Dev Nation or within your community at Digital Playhouse, all of those entrepreneurs can also then, you know, run BTC Pay Server, which allows them to operate like a truly, you know, cutting out the middleman with payment rails and operating like a truly decentralized payment system accepting Bitcoin. We've got ours working now with DVPN, and at the checkout, you can choose pay with card or pay with Bitcoin, and you just click on it. It's so simple the way that they've done it. It's wonderful.
So just
That's
on your
awesome.
website, you've got those two options. So rather than using like
Yes.
payments or something, you've just got your own merchant facility.
Yes. Yes. It
entirely yours.
plugs. It
So
plugs
that's all
into
so
the
you've
back
got to
end.
use, right? Because I'm always looking at like coin payments and Vault Pay and great services. They're really helping adoption, and they're familiar tools. You know, the adoption of these technologies do. People need training wheels, familiar tools for Web 2 to Web 3. But I love that we can just get in and try something like this and develop a manual for others to take that next step.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think it was the credo or the motto, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. And the new one apparently is not your node, not your rules.
Not your node, not your rules. I like that. So this My Node, is that something an app I could have on my phone to have at my market stall? How do I do the
My Node is basically, it's like a suite of software. So as Michael was saying, every one of these has all got BTC Pay Server, and that can only kind of occur or work if it's piggybacked on top of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And My Node is very, very Bitcoin centric, I guess, but it pretty much, this stuff is all dedicated on the node software. Although with Embassy, I do remember seeing, let me find the URL for that. Sorry, the Start 9 Embassy. Let me just get the URL for that. It should be, oh, okay, that's different.
While Tiggs is bringing that up, I'll just drop into the chat. So all of our events are recorded and posted to Bitcoin Aggregated. Kieran's got a great channel going there. He just did a session with the teacher that's running the Bitcoin education program in El Salvador. You might want to check that one out. I was just listening to that this morning. It was very cool. Yeah, so a bunch of good content on there. They talk about mining, all of the School of Bitcoin chats, Bitcoin Australia chats. So yeah, join, like, share Bitcoin aggregator. Let's get that going. Yeah, it's nice to have a good community that we've got going. Let's just build this out. And yeah, have you found that link there, Tiggs?
Yeah, keyboard is not liking the control copy.
Okay.
The control C, control V. But and just I'll pop in the 4 major nodes and basically the URLs of them.
So not my node.
Citadel, Umbrel, whoa. Citadel, Umbrel, and my node BTC, and there's also something called Embassy from Start 9.
Yeah,
Which
so they're
is-
different
yeah.
application faces that you can use, which have got all the different apps in them. So just pick one of those that you're happy with, and
Yep, pretty much.
cool.
I've been trying them all out because I'm just like that. I guess I just need to make sure that I can scratch everything I need.
Sweet as well. If everyone's sort of done for tonight with questions, we look forward to the setup journey with you guys. So keep us tuned. What's going on? And
Yeah, it should be really fun actually.
for
Before we
anyone,
go, sorry,
Mhm.
anyone? Yeah, before we go, you were just mentioning about the Raspberry Pi boards, where to get those from.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Amazon site. Let me whip that out. This is one I found I think last night. Oh,
The website?
yeah. Actually, I'll put it into a bit.ly so it's a bit digestible.
Sorry, into what?
Oh, sorry, just I'll shorten the URL for you guys. Yeah, if you just give me like a minute, I guess. Sorry, keyboard's just on fritz.
So will this interaction be happening, you know, when it's all up and happening? Will we be talking in the Discord?
Yeah, Discord works for me. It's probably the easiest actually because I can screen share and talk on the mic and all that quite effectively.
yeah, we do have 2 Discords going, the School of Bitcoin and Stacks Australia. So if anyone is in our Discords and you want to get a grip gist of what's going on every day, every week, it's a good place to hang out and learn some things. Share.
There you go, Rob,
Yeah.
mate. That's one I found last night.
Hang on, man, I'm just on my phone, so I'm having a bit.
Oh, no worries.
So I've got a bunch, I've copied a bunch of links there, so we'll get some into the we're in the underneath in the Bitcoin aggregator once it gets posted, provided my recordings worked all good. But
Can you just tell us the site, or is it a?
Oh, I just went to Amazon.com, the US version. Actually, yeah, I'm wondering if it's import tax, but I looked up just Raspberry Pi 8 gig.
How do you spell that? Is it Emerson or Amazon?
Amazon.com.
Oh, Amazon. Sorry.
Yeah,
you
you're
get
right.
one.
Yeah, they're actually in stock, but I'm not sure if this is overpriced. It seems overpriced.
Yeah, they're
But,
pretty expensive.
Yeah, $198.99.
And that's US dollars.
Yeah, that'd be US too. So that'd be over 200 when it should be 130 Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they've gone through the roof, but you can't get them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are putting there's other cryptocurrency projects out there where they're kind of like staking on them with these proof of stake systems.
Yeah, right. Oh well.
But yeah, if you
Quite
can,
cool.
with Core Electronics is pretty good for the Australians. They've been really fair with prices and their utility bundles.
Yeah, they've got no stock.
Yeah, just make sure you're on the notify list, I guess.
Oh yeah, I am, mate. I definitely
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, it's just everything is sold out. And I was looking, I was talking to one guy the other day because they say, you know, you need at least a 1 terabyte SSD, but they're talking like, you know, just to be on the safe side because, you know, the Bitcoin blockchain is like 500 gig now.
Yeah,
just
true.
you to prove yourself, get a 2 terabyte. Well, they're just, like
Yeah.
$300, you know.
Yeah, I would wait to the price to drop and just go with the 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
I saw I think it was a Samsung T7 on Amazon, and they were actually, for some reason, it was like $40-$30 cheaper than the T5 models.
Okay.
And I think it was, I'm not sure, it's just an error in Amazon or what was going on, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
So you think a 1 terabyte would cut it?
Yeah, that's what I'm running at the moment.
Okay. Because I mean, you know, people say, oh yeah, you should print yourself, but I mean, the Bitcoin's been running for what, 13 years, and it's like 430 gig now. So it's only sort of half a terabyte drive. So I think there's plenty of room for expansion. So
Yeah, it's pretty much going to keep growing at the same rate, I think. But it's all the other stuff that you're going to have to put on the node or the server to kind of like, if you're going to throw photos and videos and stuff from your phone on there, naturally it's going to take up crap loads of more room than just the blockchain. But yeah, I think that's when it comes to running your own node, you just have to look at what software packages over time you kind of like levitate and gravitate towards, and you just try to accommodate your own needs, I guess, from that. But yeah, it's just a bit of it's just a bit of wandering in, give it a look, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you can kind of manipulate it pretty easily, because all you have to do is change like a hardware part or something and just go for a bigger number, and that's usually the fix.
I can't wait to get up and running. I'm getting a bit frustrated, actually.
So I guess at any given time, you're just using it like for majority, your smaller payments, like your general trading account. Once you get up and running, so you're not like committing a whole load of Bitcoin. You're not risking a whole load of Bitcoin. You're just using what you need at the time when you need.
Yeah, true. I think also with Lightning, it's considered a hot wallet because it's always connected to the internet in that regard. So it can never really be quite as safe as a cold storage, like with the hardware wallet. But yeah, that's the topic for another day, surely.
Yeah,
I've got to get going soon. Just off topic. You guys do Neighbours Borders, so
that's right, Rob. Yes.
Yeah, we were down there early on in the year. Quite funny. We stayed at a backpackers, and I walked in, and the guy said, "Oh, how do you want to pay us?" "Oh, what do you got? Credit card, this, that." He goes, "Oh, Bitcoin." I went, "What?" I said, "Seriously?" He goes, "Yeah, we got Bitcoin." I went, I looked at my wife. She goes, "Don't you dare spend that Bitcoin."
That's great. That's great. Yeah, Tiggs.
We need to spend it. We need to get it in circulation.
I know.
And get paid in it. That's the thing. That's the trick. Get paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, this has really inspired us. This has inspired us to get the payments going around town again. So, hey, everyone. Tiggs, you're also a bit of a wallet fiend, so maybe we do another session on wallets another night. But thanks heaps for your time, Tiggs. Been absolutely awesome. Thanks to everyone from joining us from around Australia. If you're new to the Bitcoin Australia, you'll see on the Meetup page there, you'll see all the links to connect in with us, and we'll see you again. We're the first Thursday of every month at 5:30 to 6:30. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well,
See you later.
thank you. Yeah, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.